The two tiles I can see and one wolf off in the distance for some reason.
And he'll be coming towards you quickly.
It's fine, I can gaslight him as well.
Yes. Would anybody like to volunteer for recap for player inspiration, or would you guys like a DM recap?
I can do it.
Beautiful.
Okay, so it started off with I believe it was Basil who made an appearance to the group, if I'm wrong. And then after that, there was some conversing, and then Umaril made his appearance into the group. And after that, we were kind of essentially just kind of RPing for a bit and talking about plans about how to proceed through this little cave full of goblins, and we kind of proceeded forward from that. And we essentially entered the cave, and a fight kind of broke out. We didn't really do much last time we were here. If there's anything I'm missing.
No. There were some splits in the party, with Thomas initially trying to jump up onto the bridge, turned into more of a scurry climb. From there, everybody else followed suit, climbing up the walls, with most of you veering off to the right into the larger section of tunnels here, while Karan deciding that he was not going to run or do anything too strenuous, climbed up a bit after having Quill scout out, and saw that there were quite a few goblins in the little section off to the left of the map, and used minor illusion to essentially convince them that he was their god. And he was less than pleased with them, that they are all basically a bunch of disappointments. And then basically told them, you know what, I've got mercy and compassion, but only for one of you. Fight to the death. While that was happening, you guys dispatched of some goblins and one of the wolves, and then Basil, you speak with the animals, and convinced the other wolf that you guys were not there to harm them, and that you guys were on the same side. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, sort of thing. While Bliss scouted ahead just a bit and has informed you guys that there are some more goblins up ahead to the, I guess it would be the southeast little cavern. And when we left off, after Karan had convinced these goblins essentially to fisticuff, Umaril, you caught one of them noticing you out of the corner of their eye. So that is where we left off. Anything anyone wants to add before we start at the top of round 4? Okay. That is going to bring us to Thomas, top of round 4. From where you're at, so not understanding the conversation, obviously you do not speak wolf. You see a large wolf who's kind of bloodied up just a bit, who is now quickly heading your way. You know that at least 3 of your allies have headed off that direction after, I believe you had last session had kind of figured out that the path you are on would probably meet up with the path that they took taking the bridge.
Tough to have a look. Alright, 13. Is that how many wounds I've taken?
Yes.
I'm gonna use my potion.
Okay. Are you using it as an action or a bonus action?
Action.
Beautiful. So you don't need to roll anything. You just get the full benefits of the healing potion. And it's just a regular potion of healing, correct?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so that will be 10 points of healing to you as you waste no time pulling it out and sucking down the contents of this vial. and then on the main tab of your character sheet, and you can also do it on the combat tracker. You may have to unlock it, I don't know. You can just go and type in the new wound category to 3 rather than 13.
Okay, there we go.
Perfect. So
I will be backing off, like, please be one of the wolves we saw earlier. Please be one. Because I don't know where the wolves went. In the chaos, I got confused.
understandable. All right, any further movements or anything?
Just sort of to the side, at the edge of the what the like river is.
Okay.
If it's shallow, maybe even into it.
Okay, yeah, it's shallow enough that because there's no like massive amounts of moving water, for you, you're relatively small, I believe. 3 feet. Yeah, so for you, it would probably be like belly to chest level. But you are able to wade in it.
Yeah, I'll go sort of wade in it, even hunker down a bit.
Okay. That's going to bring us up here. So, Umaril, you would see this. And where do you have Quill right now, Karin? He was still in that tunnel, correct?
Probably. I can only see a very small.
I can see Quill.
Cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Quill is right next to Valor on the map.
Yeah.
It seems
Oh,
like.
he went the other way. That's
yeah.
right. Okay, thank you for that. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Okay. So, Umaril, you watch as these goblins begin to look at one another, grabbing tight on to the weapons. All of them have... there are more that I need to share on here. Have scimitars. They also have short bows. Most of them are reaching for and unsheathing their scimitars as they continue to look at each other, sizing each other up. The one goblin that noticed you up here tightens his grip on his weapon, but stands steady, almost trying to determine what is going on with your presence. That is going to bring us to these guys. And essentially, until you guys get involved one way or another, whether it's of your own volition, I'm just going to kind of streamline through this. And you watch as the goblins turn on one another. This goblin's going to jump down here. And it is chaos. They should be identified, not unidentified. We're going to not worry about that one right now. That brings us to the wolf, who comes charging down. There we go. And at first his movement is slow and hesitant, Thomas, and you watch as his ears are kind of back and the tail is still stiff between his legs. But once he gets around to right about here, he breaks into a run and leaves. You did see that he seems to have noticed your presence, but ignored it. That brings us to Valor, with Umaril on deck.
Yeah. Hey guys, do you think everyone behind us is safe? Should we go back for Sharon and Thomas?
Well, I noticed that there was at least one goblin on the other side of the bridge there. So I don't know. Where there was one, there could be more. Hard to say.
if there was only one, why are they not with us right now?
That's a good question.
Maybe they can talk their way out of it. Do you think we should move forward?
Well, I'm personally getting a little worried about Sharon over there, and I don't know where Umaril is at either. So, I didn't see any of the goblins up ahead coming this way. I just kind of heard them.
Is,
Maybe we should go back and check on our friends.
so real quick, is Quill kind of with us? Is that the correct positioning of him?
Correct. I believe the command he was given, and Karan, if I'm incorrect, please correct me, but I believe the command was to keep an eye on you guys and make sure that you guys were not in any kind of perilous danger, essentially.
Something like that. I was more focused on my cool idea at the time.
Mhm.
Actually, hang on. How close is Quill? Is he still within like familiar telepathy?
Yeah, you should
range?
still be within 100 feet. Yeah, 65 feet.
So would I be aware that they are wondering whether we're okay?
If you were wanting him to give you updates and stuff like that, then yes.
Hmm. Oh wait, hold on. They can't speak to a bird.
Can Quill you can you command can I can't speak today.
Words.
Can you command Quill to like move wings and stuff? Like if we like spoke to it, could you like move its wing? Like tell it to move its wing, like left wing, right wing, yes, no type thing?
Well, and as a
We
reminder,
could probably just bob his head up and down or shake it right and left if we want.
Yeah, that.
and speak with
I don't
animals
know
does
whether
last
you
for
can
like
command
10
it.
minutes.
Say that again?
I believe speak with animals
Yeah.
lasts for like it's either 1 or 10. Let me check.
And I just looked it up.
10. Yeah.
Oh, so you're
Easy.
saying Basil can speak to Quill?
Does Quill count as one?
Oh, that's a good question.
'Cause
I
I think
let me
it's supposed to be a celestial fey or fiend instead of a beast.
let me double
Yep.
check.
That sounds right to me, Sharon.
Yeah, instead of. It's not a beast.
Okay.
Don't
Okay,
say
then
anything,
technically, yeah.
Sharon. Just don't say anything.
No, I appreciate the honesty. Yeah. So
I know.
unfortunately, it wouldn't.
He's made of ink. He's not a real pigeon.
I often forget that because they're so often flavored as animals that they're not actually animals.
But he can. But Sharon can communicate with the bird, with Quill right now, and like have him move body parts and stuff. Like
He can-
tell him to move.
He can give commands on his turn. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Valor will walk up to Quill, assuming that he's like, reachable, and he'll kind of pet the ink, I guess, or and he'll say,
I believe he's up like 25 feet, so I don't think you could reach him.
"Oh, well then he'll wave. Valor will wave to Quill and say, please give us some indication if Sharon is okay, and we will proceed accordingly." And Valor will just kind of like move maybe a little bit over here,
Mhm.
and then end his turn.
Beautiful. All right, that's going to bring us to Umaril. Did you get disconnected, love? You're muted, babe.
Yeah, you're muted.
My bad. Yeah. I got disconnected. I was having some Wi-Fi problems.
Okay,
Just-
no worries.
Went ahead and just booped me out.
No worries.
Okay, for this goblin that doesn't seem to be affected, is he kind of like just looking at me, or
When you get back on, go ahead and give me an insight check.
okay?
We'll see how much you're able to gauge. And I will reshare the map.
Come on, load, you dang thing. Okay, I'm now back in. Let me do that insight check.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, insight, and here you go.
Very, very nice. So with the gripping of his weapon, and you watch as his fingers tighten around, clasping around the hilt of the scimitar, his eyes narrow. You see a bit of uncertainty, some confusion, and perhaps some disbelief, almost as though he is not only surprised by your presence, but trying to piece things together. Obviously, as a character, Umaril is unaware of what has taken place prior to you coming here. But it seems very much like he's trying to assess the situation and figure out how it is that you fit into this.
Does he look hostile? Like, if I was to do something, would he attack me?
With goblins, it is always most likely. Not just possible, but
Okay.
very plausible. But you did notice, obviously, you see that he sees you. But he has made no advance towards you in this moment.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm trying to debate what Umbrella would do. Okay, I mean, if he's not gonna join in the fight, I might as well just kind of get rid of him.
Okay.
I'm gonna hit him with the Warlock Classic, Eldritch Blast.
Beautiful. Control, left click his token, and that will target him for you.
Yeah. Hold on, the map is like just showing us like a blank screen for me, so I can't really like see anything at all.
Okay, give me just a moment. Oh, you know what? Here's why. Hold on. There is a little bit of fire in there, so let me get that added. The maps are like very, very finicky. So let me put. Okay, does that help?
Oh, there we go. Yep, got it. All right.
Okay. I forgot that you
All
don't
right,
have dark vision.
Would you like target him again?
Control
just-
and then left click on his token. And then
Is it
to.
unique?
What was that?
Is it Yamik?
Yes. And then a reminder, if you, under the tool drop-down menu on the right-hand side, if you click the two swords cross, that will show the combat tracker and will also show when you have something targeted who it is.
Okay, I'm control clicking this guy. He's just not.
There you go.
Yeah.
Did it work?
Yes, it did.
Okay. Alrighty then.
Oh,
That is a hit. What does your Eldritch Blast look like?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it looks just like it kind of like he just kind of holds out his hand a little bit, and essentially it is just a reddish type energy that kind of just floats through, more like a little tiny little repulsor, little blast of just red arcanic energy, I suppose.
I like it.
And that would be about.
Very, very nice.
And with that, I'm gonna kind of end my turn.
Perfect. So as you shoot forth this burst of red energy, you watch as it crashes into him, and I feel like there's a little bit of a burst before that energy is absorbed, as his eyes go wide, and he cries out from the pain of the 9 points of damage, and he begins to sneer and then smile menacingly at you. Nice. That is going to bring us to Goblin 30. Alright, bringing us to Bliss with one more goblin and then Basil. Basil.
so Basil, that was a nice little trick you did there with talking to the wolf. How would you feel about if I gave you a lift back down to the kennel, and you could do that with some of the other wolves?
You talking to me, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm talking to you.
No. A gnome always walks on his own 2 feet.
I love him.
Well, all right then. It might save a little bit of time, but okay. I think I understand where you're coming from. I think I'm gonna take a look back at in the direction where we saw our buddies and see what's going on over that way. I'll see you guys in a little bit. All right, so I'm going to start off by moving. If Basil doesn't want a ride, I'm going to go, let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 6. 7 gets to there. All right, and then I'm going to use a dash, and if I yeah, all right, I'll dash. So how many squares of movement is climbing down the wall? I can't hear you. Is that my?
I'm so sorry. No, I was muted. I was coughing and I forgot. You have a climb speed, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so it's not going to be double movement for you. It is 20 feet down, so 4 squares.
Okay, so 7, and then 38, and then 4 squares to get down would be 12.
Mhm.
And then 13, 14, 15, 16 here. Here, I lost track.
Okay.
I think it's like here. So if I wanted to try to let the wolves, if I wanted to try to unchain the wolves,
Mhm.
how much further into the cave do I need to get to do that? I imagine I'm like 10 feet. I'm like 10 feet too short or something.
Yeah, roughly. So they're all chained and spiked down, and the stakes. There's one here, if this will mark for me. There we go. Maybe not. One there. One there. And one.
Oh, I see. So I would
There.
need another 1, 2, 3
Yeah.
squares. All right, I'll go ahead and use feline agility,
Mm-hmm.
which gives me a ton more movement. I'm not going to use nearly all of that.
Beautiful.
But I'm going to walk past the wolves, and I'm going to say, "Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?" and give them a little pat and a scritch on the head.
Okay.
And I still have my action,
Mhm.
so I'm going to use my action to try to pull up the stake.
Okay, that is going to be an athletics. It's strength based. So go ahead and give me your athletics, please.
Alrighty.
As you reach down and wrap your paws around the first stake and you go to pull it up, you realize that these are better
Oh, wait,
secured.
Hang on.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to use inspiration. I forgot. I have inspiration.
Yes!
Okay, so I click on. I have so much inspiration. So I click on inspiration.
On one of the little bubbles, it'll negate it for you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have to click over here. I was clicking on the wrong spot.
It's okay.
There we go. Bliss use inspiration. Now I just drag the die
Yes.
into the
Yeah, just roll it again.
roll. Ooh,
Ooh.
did not
That
help.
was almost a natural 20. These seem to be much deeper and much more secure than you had given them credit for when you first
More inspiration.
charged. Okay.
There we go.
Okay. With a 16.
I think 17 because I think I got +1.
Oh, you're +1. Yes, 17. So as you take hold, and the first two tugs, they give more resistance than you had anticipated. So taking both paws and wrapping them around this stake and really pulling back, lifting with your knees, and using the weight of your body, you are able to successfully remove the first stake from the ground.
All right. So I think I've used all of the things that I can use. So, Mr. Wolf, you're free to go or to stick around and hunt some goblin. It's really up to you.
Cocks his head at you and looks at the now loose and free chain on the ground, back to you, and then to the other two wolves.
We're just having a carnivore to carnivore moment.
We're bonding. Alrighty, that brings us to, he's not in things yet, so that's going to bring us to Basil.
Okay. Basil, seeing where Bliss went, he's afraid for Bliss's safety. So he's gonna follow him just in case Bliss has any problems with the wolves.
Okay.
So where'd Basil go? Basil disappeared. Oh no, he's right here. Okay. So it's and he's gonna dash.
Okay.
So it was up this way.
Correct.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And you can move diagonally as well, without spending extra movement.
1, 2, 6. I can you move my guy for me? Because I'm not sure where I'm going.
Absolutely.
here you go.
Yeah. And then, are you climbing down or jumping down?
I'll jump down using acrobatics.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an acrobatics check, please. Oh, thank God it wasn't a natural one. Okay. Jumping down nimbly, you are going to take a 1 point of bludgeoning damage. It's not a lot, but a 20-foot fall. You kind of land on your foot just slightly wrong. But you successfully land. You do not biff it or take substantial damage. And you are good to continue moving forward. And you know that Bliss had said he was going to go check on the other canines, which was back towards the opening of the cave.
How far can I get?
So you were 5, 10, 15,
I have a movement speed of 30.
20. Okay, you've got 20 more feet. 5, 10,
About here?
right about there, yes. And you do have line of sight of Bliss in the further back end of the cave, of the kennel, if you will. And I think that because this is all happening simultaneously, you would watch as he completes pulling the stake up from the ground.
Well, hey, Basil. Nice of you to join. I was just setting these wolves free.
All right. So I'll speak to the wolf that he just set free, and I'll say, "Hello, friend. We are not your enemies. We are here to defeat the goblins, the ones who've tied you up and made you their slaves. If you'd like to join us in our quest to kill off the goblins, you are welcome to, or you can just run free in the forest, my friends."
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check, please, Basil. Very nice. The wolf turns to you. You and your friends. I cannot thank you enough for freeing my brothers and I. It is best that we leave. But if you require assistance, we can pay that favor to you as a show of gratitude for our freedom. And he kind of lowers his head, almost bowing.
And I say back to him, I'm a friend of the forest as well, and I think it would be better. You've endured as much hardship as you can bear. It's better if you and your kin, you should collect up your kin throughout the caves and then run for the forest, where you'll be safe. But there are other wolves up ahead. You should let them know that you're safe and you're going to the forest.
With that, he throws his head back and howls. Not incredibly loud, but in this cavern, Bliss, it is loud enough that it kind of echoes and reverberates around the area that you're in. And Basil, you understand that he is calling out into the caves and saying essentially, "Brothers, join us and let us return to our homes." And then the wolf back here that you had spoken with earlier howls in response. as do the other two that are in this cavern with the two of you. And then let me double check. Let me see for this. What is your passive, Basil and Bliss? And Baylor with
My
where you're at. Passive perception?
Passive perception
Yes.
is
I think it's 13.
Okay, perfect. Yes it is. Baylor, are you driving right now? Or are you still here?
I'm here.
Okay. What's your passive?
Perception.
Yes.
14.
14, okay. And Bliss is 14.
14 also.
Perfect. Okay. So, Baylor, this is going to be clearer for you. But Basil and Bliss, you do hear, and it sounds distant, almost as though it's been engulfed by the earthen walls of this cavern cave system here. But you hear a distant howl coming from behind here. Valor, you hear it coming from that direction. Basil, at first it's a growl and then a howl for all of you. But the howl is different than the first four that you've heard from the four wolves that you guys are currently interacting with. And Basil, I'm going to shoot you a message of what you hear.
Okay. Is there Denali, is there any change in the other wolves' faces? Not faces, their expressions or something? What expressions will they make?
The two that are still chained specifically, they begin to cower slightly and are kind of pulling at their chains, trying to get free. They seem scared, and there's slight whimpers coming from them now. The first one that was free that you just spoke with looks concerned. And you watch as his eyes, he's going back and forth between looking at the other wolves in here and towards the exit of the cave.
Can I still can I still speak? Is it my turn still?
Yeah.
And I'll say, friends, don't worry, I'll protect you. Go.
Thank you. And the first wolf begins to move slightly, but you know that he's the only one who's technically been freed. Bliss is in the process of working on the other two, and they're trying to help pull on their chains, almost like when a dog is on a leash and trying to get away and like trying to like get its head out of like the collar, kind of doing that sort of deal.
Okay. I'm just looking up action search here.
Okay. You did not take 15 points of damage last session, did you?
I didn't take any damage last session.
Okay, because it's showing that you have 15, and you should not. I didn't think you took any, but I definitely didn't think you took that much, so I fixed it for you.
Oh, thank you.
And of course.
Oh yeah, the action surge. Let's see here.
Yeah, that would give you another round of action economy. Sorry, I'm responding to a player message. I apologize.
So I can use either the action to move or do something else.
If you're doing action search, you
Yeah.
should. Does it? I thought it gave. Let me double check.
Yeah, it just gives you another whole action.
Yeah, so you'd be able to move again and everything.
Okay.
I
Then I
think
want
you,
to.
What was that?
oh, I was gonna say, like, I think you could use the action to I don't think it gives you additional movement, does it? Unless you use your action to dash.
Let me see.
I'm not positive.
Thought it did. That's a good question because I've never encountered that. Let me just double check. Okay, no, it does not grant extra movement.
Oh, I can't do any
You can
movement.
dash.
Yeah.
Wait, I can dash.
Yes, but then that would be all that you could do.
Okay, I just want to move into the cave
Okay.
to find where that that disturbing howling came from.
Okay.
So I don't know where the hell came from.
Okay. So as you get up there, you notice that the earth there is dug away at, and kind of has a bit of an incline, not super steep or anything, but there's a little bit of an ascension. And right in front of where you are at on the map, there is a small opening. And I think I know some of the others had noticed previously that just beyond that there appeared to be light kind of dancing on the other side, like a fire or lantern of sorts. As you peek through, you don't have a clear line of sight of who or what is over there, but you do see some movement, some shadows kind of dancing in the flame, that kind of casts long, eerie shadows against the back wall in front of where you are standing. And I think that you'd be able to hear movement of feet. Some of the steps sound padded, but heavy, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Perfect.
Okay, but this little thing is inaccessible by me. Can't get through there if I wanted to.
Correct.
Okay, so I guess there got to be another way around.
Hmm.
Okay, so that's my turn then. Thank you.
Beautiful, of course. And then something that I wanted to bring to your guys' attention. I've had a lot of players from different tables asking a lot of questions yesterday, and it led to some delving and deep diving. And something that I learned that I think we're going to start implementing, because I think it's kind of cool and adds to prioritizing action economy and how our characters do things. Apparently, there is a limit on how many times you can dash before risking exhaustion. It is 3 plus your con mod. So I think what we'll do, and I haven't seen anybody dash, like 7 or 8 times in a session, during combat or in a 24-hour period in game. But I think it's kind of cool to like implement that and heighten the risk of exhaustion for some of our more enduring days. So we are going to implement that and see what we think about it, if you guys are okay with that.
Yeah, seems like fair to me.
Okay. And that doesn't
Which was
Like a
again?
regular does that include if you have like a bonus action dash as a class ability?
yes,
It's just total number of dashes. No
just
matter how-
dashes. Yeah. And it doesn't mean that you're guaranteed to get it. It just means that you'll need to roll. So if you have a total of 7 dashes per day and you do 7 dashes and you aren't at a point where you're long resting yet, you would do your con save. Initially, the DC is 10, so 10 or higher, you succeed, you're not exhausted. But if you continue to dash after that or do long travel by foot without resting, then the DC does raise. And then it's all kind of circumstantial. So if you're doing that on top of staying up 24 hours because of travel or whatever the situation is, then you'll have to do another one for exhaustion, and the DC is a little bit higher. But I think it's kind of fun to add another layer of potential hindrances. And
I definitely like to talk about this maybe like after session, because for certain classes, they have like features of the class that allow them to, like for monk example, you can like use key points to like integrate dashes and things like that in. So like it would kind of limit those features too. So I mean, I'd like to at least have a discussion about it.
okay, I'm open to that.
That would go for the road too.
Okay.
Yeah. I would think maybe for class, well, we can talk about later. I don't want to take time here.
Okay. That brings us to this goblin, who is going to target that one. So, Umaril, you are watching as these goblins are all turning on each other, attacking and slashing into one another, often missing, but they are going at it. That brings us to Karin and Quill.
How many goblins are actually in this cave? Because I, at the minute, can't see them.
7. And the human.
7. In that case, there was a goblin corpse somewhere near where Valor was, right?
There was a what?
A corpse of a goblin somewhere near where Valor was
Correct.
standing, right?
Yeah.
In that case, Quill's going to land on that and then just tap it 7 times to say 7 goblins nearby. Hopefully Valor understands. That's the best I can come up with.
Okay. Valor, go ahead and roll insight for me.
Can you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I'm in the car.
Absolutely. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Nope, not the goblin. I want Valor. There we go. Let me double check something on here. You are ranger. Good with animals. You understand that the Inky Raven is trying to communicate something to you. And as you pay closer attention, you realize that he's pecking in 7s. So peck 7 times and then stop, and then peck 7 times and stop, over and over. So you're definitely understanding the number 7. As far as the specificities, if I could speak, that's a little bit harder to engage. This is to interpret. With this being the first time that this kind of interaction or communication has taken place, you're not entirely sure how to interpret that, but there's 7 something.
Okay.
Need to stop mute myself. That's probably all I'll get Quill to do. Once it looks like he's understood as much as he's going to, Quill's just going to sit on his shoulder, unless Valor bats him off, just so he can follow him for ease for now. As for me specifically, is it still only that one goblin who looks like he's noticed us for now?
Above the table, yes. I don't think you had seen that, so you would be unaware of that, but yes.
In that case, could I peek my head around the corner and become aware of it?
Absolutely.
If he's the only one who looks like he's noticed, does he look particularly injured from the Eldritch Blast from before?
Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Let me bring that back down here. He has definitely taken damage, but he looks more irritated and almost excited than anything else.
No, it's probably still worth it then. Oh, hang on. I know that using Quicken Spell to make a leveled spell into a bonus action doesn't mean I can cast 2 spells, but can I cast 2 cantrips if I quickened one of them?
I do. Let me double check.
Bliss is nodding. I'm going to assume that Bliss knows.
I think so. Well, you know what? I know that you could in 2014. I don't really know.
Yeah, I don't know if
I
that's
think
changed.
I'm not sure about 2024.
Quicken Spell just says a level 1 plus. That's why I'm sort of hoping I can dual wield cantrips.
With it specifying level 1 up, I'm going to say no.
Okay, then I will not use Quicken Spell.
Oh,
Yeah,
wait,
I
hold
think
on.
the only thing I...
If you've already cast a level 1 spell, yeah, you can. Sorry, the wording on this is kind of wonky. You can't modify a spell. Yeah, I'd allow it.
Then he's about to get 2 balls of acid to the face.
Yes.
I will Quicken Spell acid shot him first. I can't see him, so I can't
Here, I will
target him. By the way.
target him for you. Alright, he should be targeted for you.
Right.
Okay. 5 points of acid damage.
Although I did forget to actually roll to hit first, which would probably be more useful.
Little bit. That does hit. Dirty 20.
And then I will use my regular version of the cantrip. So let me just
Okay.
get rid of the points because that didn't work. There we go. I'm assuming that's hit as well.
Yes, it is. Okay, and was that another 5? Consistent. Okay, so
Yeah, just like my
total
low
of 10
initiative rolls.
You know what? I respect it. Give me 100%. And then
What the? Oh, what the?
what was that?
No, I'm trying to move the map around, and it was moving my character.
Oh my gosh. So when you move your character, it moves the map, but when you move the map, it moves your character?
Oh, I just moved it back to where it was, and I'm not gonna touch it for a while.
That's no, I wasn't saying that about the moving. I was just saying the irony of when you try to move one, it moves the other.
Oh,
Yeah.
Basil, if you use the AWSF keys while you're inside that map, it'll move the map. If you use the arrow keys, it'll move your character.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any further movement for you, Karin? So he's going to attack. Okay. That brings us to here. And this is going to bring us to the top of round 5. Okay. Thomas with some goblins and then Valor on deck.
Yep, need to unmute. And seeing the wolf go down here and everyone rushing down here, I'm gonna follow, get out of the water, start walking here. I'm going to look. What's down here? What happened over here?
So what you see over there is more disturbed earth that kind of leads up a bit. So right up here is a little, almost like a plateau of sorts, and then more disturbed, carved away earth. When you see Karan standing there in the dark, doing weird sorcerer things. I don't know if you would know what he was doing. He's just kind of there. And I think you'd see...
Does anyone?
You'd see a little bit of somebody else up there.
Okay. I'm gonna pop up there, I think.
Okay.
I don't need to make any rolls, do I?
If you are climbing, it'll be half movement, but you are good to go.
Okay. Hey guys, what's happening here then?
Oh, not much, causing civil unrest. How about you?
Civil unrest? What do you mean by that?
There was a lot of goblins. This seemed like the most efficient way of dealing with them. And by efficient, I mean me doing the least work possible.
And you hear a lot of like goblins like yelling and screaming. There's slashing of flesh, clashing of metal on metal, coming up from around the corner out of sight. And if you go up there,
Honestly,
then you would
I think
see.
it's going great.
I'm gonna hide and... Am I going to hide? Is that an action? Bonus action?
Yeah.
It's both for you, I think.
Mhm.
Well, either for you.
Yeah. I might do a sneak attack.
Yeah.
Yeah. In that case, you'd have to bonus action hide and then attack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
Who do I attack?
If I may make a suggestion, that guy might know we're here.
What, him? Eric.
Player-wise, I can't quite tell because I can't actually see the goblins on the map. I'm just relying on Dunalite to point them out.
He's talking
This one
about
can
this
see.
one here.
Yeah, that one.
Umarill's gonna kind of like point that one right there. He knows.
Okay. So is it control?
Control left
click.
click. Yes.
There we go.
There we go.
Do I use...
Do that afterwards, but you will have advantage on this attack because you are hiding. And then you'll hit sneak
That's-
attack for the damage.
What's up, Luke?
What was that?
The advantage part.
Oh,
So
at the bottom left of your screen. Yeah. There you go.
Oh, that was shocking.
Unfortunately, that is a miss.
Yeah, I use inspiration.
Perfect. And then go ahead and roll
That's
one
better.
more. You can crit fish.
Okay.
Okay, not a crit, but it's you definitely hit with that first one. So now you can hit the sneak attack and then roll your damage. Why did it not? Let me see. Give me just a second to see why this is not.
Oh, is it the little dude on the right-hand side rather than the finger on the left?
That might be what it is, yeah.
Barrett, yeah.
Okay,
there we
go ahead. Yeah, okay, perfect. So go ahead and roll your d6, and we'll just add that one manually. So 9,
Oh, okay.
And then 4. Okay. And he screams, very freaked out, not understanding where magic and arrows, bolts are coming from. Umaril, you would also see that grip on his weapon tightens as his eyes narrow and glare in your direction. Anything else, Tomas?
Is he still alive?
Mm-hmm.
I guess I can't hide again, so you know, back up here.
That's going to bring us to you. So I'm so sorry, Umaril. They've just been like, how do we throw someone under the bus?
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
5, 10.
I try to help, but bye.
You watch
This
as
is what I've
this
been waiting for. I've been waiting for this moment, actually.
this goblin sneers and kind of snarls at you as he drops his arm, and you can hear the tip of his blade dragging on the ground behind him as he starts to run your direction and leaps off the ledge. And as he does, he brings up his scimitar and charges towards you. He is going to use his multi-attack. A 23 to hit.
That hits.
As you take 8 points of slashing damage. His second attack, an 18 to hit. 6 more points of slashing damage. So as he takes this running start, you hear that blade dragging, and he starts to kind of growl, and that growl grows almost into a crescendo as he leaps into the air and begins to slash at you wildly as you take a total of 14 points of slashing damage. And go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead. It's fine.
And as the blood from your fresh wounds kind of splashes up over him, do you speak Goblin?
I do not.
Okay.
I do
Karin, you do. And what you hear, Karin, as he begins to speak in Goblin, both excited, but there's a hint of uncertainty as he says, "Our God has challenged us, not just amongst ourselves, but with a challenger in his likeness. I will be victorious!"
So, as this goblin attacks me, my mask kind of just falls off and crashes into the ground. And I'm gonna look back at him and just say, "Disgusting fake creature, damn bastard!" And I'm gonna cast Hellish Rebuke on him
Yes.
as a reaction.
Yes.
So he has to make a dex save of 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
let me
Okay.
see. A natural 20 to save.
Yeah, I'm okay. He takes half of 2d10, so
Okay.
target him real fast.
Mhm.
Whatever. Okay.
Oh, it froze on my end.
There we go. So half of whatever that damage is.
So that'll be 6. Okay. So as your mask falls off, you watch as that excitement, that embracing the challenge, and that confidence that he has wasted no time expressing quickly fades as you invoke your Hellish Rebuke, and he takes the 6 points. Color starts to drain from his face as his breathing intensifies, heavy, labored, shaky. He looks terrified. But he stands
That's
his
epic.
ground.
He thinks you're a god and you just hellish rebuked him.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. But he stands his ground. You don't even need to roll for insight. You see that there is uncertainty, but resilience in his eyes. as he kind of closes in on himself, but continues to tighten his grip once more on his weapon. That is going to bring us, and what I'm going to do is we're going to roll for these guys. 2, 4, 6. Okay. Alright, so one of them caught wind of what was going on. It was this one right here. Goblin 17. As he stops mid-fight with the others and looks your direction. A challenge! For gods, yes! That's going to end... Oh, wait, no. Wrong one. He's going to attack the other guy. Alright, that's going to bring us here. Okay. 2. Wolf 12 is going to continue running. I think that means JJ is home with the kids. And Basil, you hear that as this wolf is running by, kind of not quite barking, but calling out to the others, saying, "Brothers, I will meet you outside." And we're going to take him off the tracker. That's going to bring us to Valor. Are you back? You're back! Welcome back.
Perfect timing.
Can you hear me? Perfect.
Yes.
Okay. Seeing as though everyone kind of left him, doesn't really know what those 7 pecks mean. But obviously no one's coming back, so also with everything that happened, with like speaking the wolves and all that, Valor is going to pull out the last Goodberry that he has from earlier in the morning, kind of stick it in the wolf's mouth, hoping that it will, I guess, revive in a way. And he'll say, with a he'll kind of rest his right hand on the wolf's heart, and he'll say, "Forgive my haste, spirit of Fang and Fang. May your hunt carry on beyond this life, free of pain and blind command. I took your breath. May the wilds give it back in another form. Mercy guide you." And he'll hope and pray that the wolf's life will be restored.
Point of inspiration. As you take a moment to try to right, I don't want to say right your wrong, because you weren't wrong for it. You did what you had to do, so don't think that I'm saying you were wrong. But for Valor in his mind, trying to right his wrong. Kneeling down next to the body of the wolf, having placed the Goodberry in its mouth, you watch with weighted breath. For just a moment, your eyes play a trick on you, and you think you can see a bit of movement from the chest of the wolf. But ultimately, you know that his cycle of life has come to an end.
And seeing this, he will kind of pick him up in his arms and move back towards the rest of the group. I forget. Do I have impeded movement because of this now?
For
No,
flavor
he's
for
pretty
this
strong
one,
dude, right?
well, technically, like mechanically, if it was an ally or something, it would. But because you're doing this for flavor and stuff, I won't do that. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah, that's perfect. 5, 10, 15, 30. He'll get to about here, and like he's kind of looking Like, where the heck is everyone? And he'll kind of just, just post out here.
Okay.
And Quill's also with him too, on his shoulder.
Okay. That brings us to Umaril.
My bad, my mic was muted.
No, you're
Yeah,
good.
so Umaril had just had bad enough with this this little goblin. He's gonna kind of like he's gonna hold out his hands like this and just cast Burning Hands in like a 15-foot cone.
Yes.
Okay, Burning Hands, Burning Hands.
Get that cone down.
All right.
For you.
And he has to make a dex save of 12.
Okay, let me, because you may potentially get more. Yep, so 3 of them.
Wrath of the Goblin Gods is upon them.
And it's hilarious because this is both like exciting, like, oh my god, thinks I'm up to this challenge, but fucking terrifying at the same time for these goblins. Like, I almost feel bad for them, but it's fucking hilarious. All 3 fail.
Okay.
So very, very nice. So 12
That is
points.
12 damage in
to-
total.
Alright, so that's 12 to Emic, 12 to 19, and 12 to 9. Let me find 9 on here.
Yeah, I'm gonna end my turn. Actually, no, I'm gonna cast Armor of Agathis as a bonus action. So essentially, he does like a quick little hand sign movement thing, and some type of cold aura kind of emit, kind of just flows through him a little bit, and yeah.
Haven't you already cast
Unfortunately,
Burning Hands, though?
yeah. So unfortunately, you can't cast
Oh,
2
okay,
leveled
never mind.
spells.
Okay, never mind.
But as you do this, how do you imagine your Cone of Burning Hands killing these 3 goblins before you?
I imagine it as like a force of just fire, so kind of like a little tiny miniature explosion where they just go flying back, hitting the wall. It's kind of scorched.
That is fucking amazing. Let me remove them. That definitely draws the attention of all the others. Very fucking cool. And you said that ends your turn?
Yep.
Okay. Let me delete this pointer. Alright, that brings us to Bliss. With Basil on deck.
So, Basil, do you see anything interesting up there?
No, I can't do. There's nothing much behind this crack in the wall. I only see some flickering lights.
And did you have a good chat with Mr. Wolf and friend?
We're still in negotiations.
Well, okay then. So, is it correct that I cannot hear any of the commotion in the west cave over the water, which you had said was kind of like muffling things?
Mm-hmm.
All right, then I'm going to see if I can get the last of these guys freed of their chains.
Okay. Go ahead and give me another athletics.
Okay.
And then Valor, go ahead and give
And
me
I
a
would not be
perception
able-
check. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah?
Oh, I was just asking Valor for perception while you were rolling. I apologize.
Oh, I was going to say, I would not be able to give myself guidance on this because both of those things would be an action. Is that right?
I would allow you to do guidance in this situation.
Well, I'll take it.
Yeah.
So there's the check, and there's the D4.
So 14. You feel that this wants to release, and it's almost there, just not enough.
Well, this is a little stuck. I think that's just gonna end my turn.
Okay. That brings us to Basil with Quill and Karin on deck. Oh, I'm sorry, a goblin and a
Okay.
Quill.
It's Basil's turn, right?
Correct.
Okay, I howl as loudly as I can, hoping my voice echoes through the caverns. I howl to those loyal to Clarg. Need not be my enemy. We are killing goblins by the moment here. You need not be loyal to the goblins, for they will be dead soon. And if you choose loyalty to Clarg, you will have made that choice yourself. I wish you well. Run for the forest. And then I'm gonna come over here and try to loose these two remaining wolves.
Okay, go ahead and give me an athletics. Bo, stop. Okay, that is just enough. It gives you a little more resistance than you were expecting, but as you grit down, ow, you feel it pull up from the earth, releasing and freeing the wolf.
Okay, do I have any so I guess I move up to the next wolf, but I don't have any action left, right? I used my
Correct.
action on the first wolf.
Correct.
Okay, then I'll just say, run free, friend. And I will end my turn.
Thank you, friend, he says, and begins to move forward, joining the other free wolf as they both wait for the freeing of their ally. Goblin 20. Seeing your presence known, Karen, you hear and understand what is being said as this goblin says, "A challenge from our god." And he is going to target you. And he sounds very uncertain, seeing the corpses of his three friends who just got blown the fuck away. But he is going to retrieve his short bow and take aim at you, Umaril. 21.
It would be a shame if I still had silvery barbs.
Do you?
I've been saving one spell slot.
Beautiful. Are you using it?
Oh yeah, I'm not letting Umaril go down.
Absolutely. Respect it. I'll reroll. And with the 11, it misses. So Umaril, which you see, and I feel like Karin, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like you see this and like nonchalantly are like, and like don't even watch the rest of it happen. You're just like, nah, dude, no. But Umaril, you watch as he takes his stance and draws back the string on his bow and releases the arrow. And as you take a deep breath and brace for impact, kind of not fully closing your eyes, but just enough, you watch as just momentarily the threads of time are twisted and the arrow reverses mid-air and you watch it release again. This time the aim is off a bit as the arrow whizzes by and plunges into the earthen wall next to you. Karin, who are you giving the advantage to?
Myself.
I fucking love him.
I'm
Okay.
next to the combat tracker.
No, I love it.
Fully-
No
fully
shame.
character.
Anything for Quill as he is perched on Valor's shoulder?
If Valor does any sort of action that Quill could help with, he will use the help action to try and help with, but for the most part, no.
Okay. that brings us to you.
Seeing as though I'm already now dedicated to helping someone, I'm gonna move in front of Umaril to make sure that if there's any danger, it's gonna come to the other squishy caster. Which one of these goblins was the one that shot him again?
This one.
Then I will use another one of my... I've covered my character sheet. Then I'll use another one of my Sorcerous Bursts to try and throw acid at him with advantage from that.
Beautiful. Oh, nice. That 25 definitely hits.
Oh,
Okay. That's okay. Chipping away at him. As he takes 1 point of damage, he's cries, "Ah, my eye!" or something like that. And as you step forward, you hear like audible gasps from the other goblins as they murmur about another challenge sent from their god. And this is just so perfect that it's the two of you, because your characters definitely don't look like your average adventurer, so it very much falls in line with the possibility of being like either ethereal or some kind of visages or messengers sent from the gods. So this just all, you couldn't plan this any better. Any further movement or anything for you?
just raising the middle finger.
Respect it. Send that message. Goblin 17 is going to stop targeting this guy and turn his attention to you as he charges in. And attacks with his scimitar. If it will roll. There we go. A 16. I believe that hits, right?
AC is 16.
Okay, meets it, beats it. As you feel the slashing of the blade cut through your skin, you take 6 points of slashing damage. And I feel like he would say something like really dumb that goblins would be like, "Oh, that's badass, sick burn," about, you know, slitting your throat and dancing in your blood while he praises their god. It's going to.
You have to
bring
live long
us-
enough to do that.
Top of the round with Thomas. Oh, that one was dead. Okay. I did not remove him. And in about 10 minutes or so, we'll take our break. So I can get the kids situated. But Thomas, it
Muted
is
again.
your turn. Yep.
Am I hidden?
Are you hidden?
No.
You are, because you went back and oh no, because you'd come out of height to move further back, correct? So you're not technically hidden, but as far as you can tell, you haven't been noticed yet.
I'm gonna sneak over here. Basically, can I do a sneak attack on this goblin here?
You can, but I will let you know that because of the line of sight and the allies there, if you roll a natural one, it will hit them.
Okay.
Specifically, Karin.
It's a risk I'm willing to. Let's
respect
go.
it.
My rolls are terrible.
I respect
Let's
it.
do it. Sorry, Luke.
Yeah, it's fine. I can take it.
Is it advanced?
Yes.
Alright. So. Wow, I really, really rolled so terribly. It's not even fun.
I mean, you've still got inspiration.
I'm like, how are my rolls so bad? Like, these suck.
I don't know.
Some of us have terrible initiative rolls. Some of us have terrible attack rolls.
That is
There you
it.
go.
Okay. Want to use that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice. How would you like to do this, Thomas?
I'm just gonna sort of poke my head out, sort of between these two. Goodbye, and then sleek off again. behind everyone to reload.
Okay. And then I need to, because these ones are now in play. That is going to bring us to Urk, who is going to charge in towards you, Karin, as you are the closest challenger from God, using his multi-attack. The first is a dirty 20. Another sharp pain as he slices into you for 7 points of slashing damage. And he begins to shout loudly. And it's not even a language, it's almost like he is just shouting gibberish and yelling. Natural 20.
I'm not allowed to use lucky to change a 20, am I?
Unfortunately not.
I should have done it on the first one.
12 points of slashing damage. Oh, my friends. Okay. So, Tomas and Umaril, what you see, and you guys do not obviously understand what is being said. Karin, you know that they think that you guys are a challenge from their deity, and as he charges in and swiftly takes you down, he begins to, like, war cry, head thrown back as your body collapses at his feet, and begins to stomp his feet in your blood like a small child playing in a puddle of rain. And for flavoring, while you guys don't understand, I feel like as you are fading out of consciousness, Karin, you would hear the words of, "I will be his champion," as he turns his attention to you, Umaril. That brings us to Valor with Umaril on deck.
So vaguely hearing some of the commotion in that other room, I guess he'll kind of lay the wolf down at the front of this bridge, and then I guess walk over 5. 30, 35. And he will quickly kind of like do a I mean, he sees Turan down, right?
Yeah, you would see that his body is on the floor, yes. And you, as you are making your way over, you would feel Quill, the weight of Quill. Not that he's heavy, but you would feel that on you. Is gone instantly.
I have like an ink. I just got an ink shot. On
You
my
know what?
face,
You know what?
or on my shoulder.
Unless Karin says otherwise, I kind of like, now that you mention it, kind of like the idea of him kind of like popping, like bursting, and there's just little splatters of ink. Not enough till it would like impede your vision or anything like that.
Okay, so that
That's
would have
exactly how I
made
thought of
Valor.
it.
That would have made Valor kind of come this way, or like immediately. So Rick, you're I can touch none of them. He's going to. Can't really do much. And what did you? What was the rulings on administering potions to allies? Is it just handing him over?
If they're conscious, you can hand it over as like an object interaction or a free action. To administer it to an ally, it's an action. But you still have to roll for it.
guess for starters, he will bonus action apply Hunter's Mark on Urk.
Okay.
Continuing from the previous one that he had cast before. Have much. Guess he'll action dash.
Okay.
Guess he could get to like here.
Mhm.
Well, can he like come around the other side of him, staying in 5-foot range? Okay.
Absolutely.
So he'll come around here. I don't want to get. I'm assuming this is a ledge to the south here.
Yes. Yeah. And so that's up 5 feet and up there. So you
Oh, it's
see.
up?
Yeah. Yeah. There's a
Oh,
there's a
okay.
raise. Up like between 5 to 8 feet. Mechanically,
Oh,
we'll
okay,
say
then
5.
I'll just stay right here then.
Okay.
I thought it was like I was gonna like fall over some.
Oh no no no! It's
and,
the bottom of the ledge. Sorry.
that's what I got.
Beautiful. If you guys are okay with it, we'll take our break here because my kids are going to be home any minute now. So we'll take our 10 here, and then pick back up in 10.
It's fine. I'm not in any rush.
No, you've got this. You've got this.
What a moment of dramatic tension.
Right? I always feel so bad when it comes to like natural 20s because Okay. Umaril with Bliss on deck.
Okay. I am going to essentially do. Which is it? Okay, that is. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do chill touch. So essentially, what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna go right up to this goblin. I'm gonna like essentially use my palm of my hand to like grab him on the face, and cast it.
Okay.
So I have to. What's this doing?
You have yourself targeted, but that is a miss.
Damn. Okay.
Slap him with the back of your hand.
Actually, can I use?
Bitch.
I'm gonna use inspiration. I'm using
Absolutely.
inspiration.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Try this one more time.
Unfortunately,
Okay.
still a miss.
Can you use inspiration more than once?
Absolutely.
All right. I'm using my last one here.
You got this.
Cannot use a bad roll. Okay.
Unfortunately.
They all miss. Yeah. Yeah. You see me just try to like grab him by the face, but I'm just missing entirely.
I just pictured you like softly stroking the side of his face or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lost my footing or something. Anyways. Yeah, that is going to be the end of my turn.
Okay. That's going to bring us to Bliss.
Alright, so there's a if I'm counting wolves correctly, 2 stakes have been pulled out. Is that
Correct.
right?
Yes.
And is the third one? Is that would I have to like move to get to it?
Yeah, just at 5 feet. Oh wait. Let me double check. No, you'd be okay to remove it from there because I think Basil did the northernmost.
Okay. Well, here we go. The last one.
You got this.
Heave ho.
What'd you call me? I'm just kidding.
Right.
And athletics.
With a 17. Already being aware of how deeply these had been staked in, you know how hard it's going to take, how hard it will be for you, and how hard you have to pull. And wasting no time, you remove this third peg.
All right, friends. You're free to go or to help us out if you want. Let's go see what else is going on in this cave. So I've got some movement, and let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hang on, I have to adjust the.
No problem.
7, 8. What is up ahead of me? I see Umaril up ahead.
Yes. So you see Umaril up ahead. I don't think you'd be able to see much beyond that because of how he is placed and where the others are positioned.
Based on what the map is showing me, like I'm in a like dark tunnel and I can see not much forward or not much backwards.
Oh, let me double check.
That was me at the start of this session. Sorry, I mean.
Do you not have dark vision? Oh, you do have dark vision. Here, let me put that on. Yeah, for some reason it's not on here. Let me do.
It was giving me the dark vision view last time, I think.
Yeah, for some reason.
Is it just a really tight tunnel?
Yeah, it could just be a narrow tunnel.
Okay, does that change that for you?
Nope, maybe it's just narrow tunnel.
Okay, that might be what it is then.
So I guess if I since you let me do guidance on that on that heap hoe and the stake, I think I'm pretty much out of stuff to do. Maybe I'll say like, "Hey, Umaril, how's it going up there?"
That was awfully calm. He's gonna yell out, "They're getting us!" Hurry. Kind of frantically suggesting that you come out here and lend a hand.
All right, so I'll turn backwards and say, "Hey, Basil, I think there's a little trouble up this way," and try to shout back to let Basil know. Hurry up if you can.
Basil, go ahead and give me a perception check, please. You hear some voices from the other side of the little fissure, the little hole in the wall, sort of muffled through the earth, speaking in... You do not speak Goblin, correct?
No.
Okay. So an unknown language to you. And then you hear movement of chain. Movement of bodies.
When I was over near that crack, did I discern if I could shoot an arrow through that crack?
It'd be wide enough to shoot an arrow through, yeah.
Alright, so I'm gonna move up.
Oh, give me just a second. I'm moving these guys really quick because they're on the initiative combat right before you. Okay, and now.
I peeked through the crack. What do I see?
What you see now is a small humanoid figure. You see movement, kind of, I'm going to ping the map, coming around and then disappearing out of your line of sight. But you do see one small humanoid here who is in the process of following suit.
So I can't tell if they're goblins.
It's hard to tell as they're moving. The coloration of the skin, I think, would give away that that's most likely what it is, as well as the size and stature.
Okay, so I'll shoot the goblin I can see. Goblin 7.
Beautiful. Should have line of
where
sight
is-
now.
Yeah, and I'm gonna shoot him with my longbow.
Yes. Pained cry. Ah! Go ahead and roll damage. My goblins always sound dumb and constipated. 11 points. Very, very nice.
Nice roll, dude.
And we're gonna see as he begins to look around the room. Oh, okay, good roll for you, not for him. And you watch. You can see his beady little eyes, like trying to figure out what happened, where this came from. But they just kind of gloss over the hole in this cave wall as he.
Okay, then I'm gonna follow Bliss. Oh, I can't dash, right?
Correct.
So I guess I'm stuck here for my turn.
Correct. But that
Okay.
was a
That's-
very good shot. Alright, that brings us to Goblin 20. Now that you have entered the mix, Valor, the goblin looks very, very confused, and that confusion quickly turns to anger. If you guys know anybody who is less than brilliant, that often is the case. When they get confused, they get mad. And he is going to drop his bow, and in one swift motion as he is running towards you, he is going to pick up his scimitar and charge towards you. With a 23. You feel the cold of this blade freshly picked off the floor, and that cold is quickly replaced by warmth as blood begins to pour out of this new wound, this new gaping hole across your midsection as you take 6 points of slashing damage. He begins shouting to the other goblin in the room, who looks towards him dismissively, but his eyes kind of narrow towards you. That is going to end our turn. Let me do this. We're going to do that. That brings us to Karin. Please drop a d20 on the tower on the bottom right of your screen for me, please. Okay. As you lay unconscious on the ground, the world around you fading in and out of existence. As you close your eyes and give way to the cold that begins to navigate its way through your body. The black is not black of unconsciousness, but you find yourself swimming in a sea of black ink. Endless, cold. This is not the first time that you've been in this state, but this is different. In this moment, you do not hear his voice. You do not hear the terrors that visit you, I think is a nice way to put it. what you hear is absolute silence that is so loud that it almost deafens you. You feel your fingers kind of pan through the ink, raising your hands up and watching it slowly drip. Oh my gosh, give me just, I'm so sorry, my puppy's grabbing stuff off my desk and I don't want him to choke. Each drop of ink that falls from your finger ripples into the pool around you, and you watch it expand out. That is going to bring us to the top of round 7. Thomas, sorry.
Hello. Yes.
Hi.
Hi. Don't go. Please not done. Right. So, I might leap at this goblin here and lunge at him with my rapier, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Sort of over him.
Okay.
With my sort of hoppity feet. And I'm going to try and stab him in the back, I suppose. Or shall I just... Because I don't want to land on Karen.
Yeah, leaping over to be on the other side.
Yeah. Do I need to roll for that? By any
No.
chance?
No, you've got the movement from your leap.
Okay. All right. And I shall... Do I need to get advantage or anything? No?
For that one, let me see. You do because Valor is. You'll get the sneak attack because Valor is next to him, so you won't get advantage, but you'll get the sneak attack.
Okay. I need to turn advantage.
What was that?
Lucas told me
Advantage.
to turn advantage off. That was.
Oh.
Oh.
Nice. Comes through in the clutch.
I
Yes.
for once.
Yes, that is absolutely a hit.
There you go.
Also nice.
Let's see. Full. As he screams out in pain, he whips around, turning his focus to you.
Okay, I think I'm gonna go stab him again then with my attack.
Okay.
I guess that's the bonus action. So
Yeah, so with that, it won't get your modifier.
oh my god, what the hell?
The 18 does hit.
Do I get? Is it just normal damage?
Yes,
Is it?
Yes, correct.
Yes.
Next one's a turn.
Correct. Oh. Nice. Okay. That was a really solid round.
Yeah.
Very
That was-
solid turn for
He
you.
upset me. My feelings were hurt.
My body was hurt.
Were you
My
at the
body. Alright. Any further movement for you, or was that all of it? I think that was all of
Think-
it.
Yeah.
Okay. As you
But
were...
he's still going?
Mm-hmm.
Damn. What?
Yeah. So most of the goblins in here were your common goblins. Urk and Yimik were a little bit beefier, a little bit stronger than their friends. No, we're not going to hit Karin. He's down. Being the most recent to not only join the fight, but to jump in and attack him, he turns his attention to you, Thomas. and with his multi-attack begins to swing wildly at you with his scimitar. 17.
Oh, good.
As you take 4 points of slashing damage, and as he swings down over his right shoulder, he quickly raises up over his left to swing once more for a 21 to hit. As you take 6 more points of slashing damage. As he throws his head back and lets out a fierce, I use that word loosely because of the voice that I chose to use for goblins, but a fierce war cry, and then begins to shout at the other goblin in the room. Who is up next? Oh, no, it's this one. 5, 10. Okay, that's going to bring us to Valor with Umaril on deck.
So you all can see Valor's kind of like stumbling a bit, but he kind of gains his ground, and he sticks his right hand up to where the ink is on his shoulder, from Quill kind of exploding, and he dabs a couple fingers onto it. I'm sorry, he reaches his left hand over, dabs a couple fingers in the ink, and then kind of smears it on his right hand. And then he kneels down beside Sharon, pressing that hand over his chest. And he says, "You bled in defense of others. You fall, but you do not fade. The bond you've given, I return." And you kind of see this like healing light kind of pulse through his arm, and he casts Cure Wounds on Sharon.
Fucking awesome. 10. Oh, that's nice. Let me go and add that to him. Beautiful.
And then, dude, I forgot what else I was gonna do. Oh yeah, then with his bonus action, he's going to kind of just glare at this Urk guy, or whatever this guy, yeah, Urk, and he's gonna just punch him right in the face.
Okay. Unarmed strike. Go ahead and roll your d20. Oh, you still have Karn targeted.
Oh,
He
shoot.
brings you to life just to knock you back out.
My bad.
Understandable. I'm kind of a
Whoop.
dick.
Okay. Why did that roll 2 d20s?
Because it had advantage because Karn is prone.
Oh shoot. Okay. Well, I'm gonna. Is it okay if I just re-roll then?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I'm inspoing that.
Okay. That is a hit.
That's better. And how does this guy look?
Give me a quick medicine check. He looks really
my
mad.
gosh.
Mad and bloody.
Inspo that. Come on.
Mad and
Great.
bloody. He's
Mad and bloody?
hurt. Yeah. Yeah, he's taken some damage, but he looks more pissed off, and it's hard to
Okay.
tell what blood is his and what blood is Karin's or Thomas's.
Okay. So as he's gonna punch him in the face,
Okay.
and then at the same time, he's gonna use his Hill's Tumble ability, and he's gonna you kind of see Urk kind of fall prone.
Okay. Very fucking cool. get that added to him.
And I don't know how to track how many times. Oh, yes, I do. It's on here. Boom. Kills that. Boom. Yep, there you go.
Very fucking cool. That was a good round. Good turn. Okay.
Oh, shoot. He had Hunter's Mark, so it's an extra it's another D6 onto that punch.
Mhm.
Wait.
There you go.
Or two more.
Did I not target? Okay.
What was that?
I don't know if I actually target.
You didn't, but I manually entered things.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're very welcome. So before we get to Umaro, Karin, as you are watching these droplets plink into the ink below and kind of fan out, watching, you feel almost drawn, and you feel a familiar brush at the back of your mind. You are closer now, the line phrase, as these words kind of echo throughout your minds. There's static and warped space for a moment before the silence deepens. A strand of ink rises, and you watch as it begins to plunge down towards your chest. And as you feel that painful burst of energy as it cracks into your rib cage, you are not the dream, you are the ink in it. And with those words and that ink piercing into your being, choose, become, return, and you feel a pressure begin to swell within you, unbearably painful, and you find yourself back in the world of consciousness and the living, with Valor melt above you as you take a deep breath. That is going to bring us to Umaril with Bliss on deck.
Okay. Yeah. Umaril is gonna go ahead and do another round of trying to grab his face with a chill touch. So he's gonna go ahead and make a second attempt on that by trying to grab a hold of his face and casting that bad boy.
Okay.
Let me target this guy. If we can.
Yes.
Okay.
Question: is that a spell attack?
Yeah, it's a touch attack.
Since he's prone, can he do it with advantage? His attack rolls against prone targets.
I
Would
think
that also apply to
it's
spell attack?
melee attacks. Let me double check the verbiage on this.
Just says if the attacker is
I don't know how
within
to
5
target
feet.
this guy.
Control
It's
left
weird.
click.
Let's say attack roll though, so I don't know. It's up to you.
Try rolling. Oh, hold on. Target him and try rolling it again. And if it gives you, hold on. So he's targeted. Try rolling again. If it gives you advantage with him being prone, then moving forward we'll say yes. If not, then we're gonna say no. Fantasy Grounds will answer that because I that's kind of a gray area.
Okay. Is it short for you if I like have him targeted because it doesn't like give me like an indicator? if I've
Yes.
done that or not?
So if you bring up the combat tracker on the right hand of the screen, the tools drop down. The top left is the two swords crossed over each other, and that'll bring up the initiative order for everybody. And then if you look at yourself, it will show when you have someone targeted, who you have targeted, as well as any other effects that you have on yourself.
Okay, I see it. All right. Yeah, let's see if this. Oh, it does work
Okay,
advantage.
so it does. Oh
And
my
that's not
god,
Math. Oh, a 20 and a 1.
That's so funny.
I've never seen crits on both ends of the spectrum like that in an
It
advantage
didn't give
roll.
advantage, it gave disadvantage.
What?
Why?
Is chill touched a ranged attack instead of a?
It's a touch
It's
attack. It's
touch.
a touch attack.
Okay, so I guess
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
So I guess it's treating it because I know with ranged attacks, for whatever reason, if you're prone, it's at disadvantage. That
Yeah.
doesn't.
Yeah, I mean,
make
I'm looking at the
sense.
spell right now. It's just for range touch. You
Yeah,
have to make
it's
a
a
melee
touch
spell
spell.
attack against the creature. Yeah.
We're gonna take the nat 20 out of those two.
Yay.
So I guess moving forward, it's not advantage, but it won't be disadvantage either. That is just silly. And I'll do some research on it. Go ahead and roll another d10 for me, please. Okay, so that 2 is now at 10, so that's 15 points.
I'm gonna
Umaral-
like,
Go ahead.
hold on to his face and just start like, quenching it, and I'm assuming he's screaming or whatever, but
He is. And let me double check something on here on your character sheet. Okay. So this is kind of for flavor, and because it was a critical attack, a critical hit. And you can add to this if you would like to, or kind of flavor it and adjust it how you see fit. But as you reach down and take hold of his face and you send this necrotic damage into him and maintain your grip, this energy courses through you and you feel it swelling down into your hand, and you watch as this deep unnatural coloration begins to pour forth from your hand and fingertips into his face, and that energy wraps around him, essentially crushing his skull as you have killed Urk.
okay. With that, I'm gonna end my turn.
Okay. That brings us to Bliss.
All right, so I think the first thing I need to do is figure out what's going on around the corner here. So that's 2.
And so what you see as you come into this room is there's one goblin standing. You see one guy.
I'm gonna like casually stroll in, like,
What's going
what's going on
on?
up here?
All of your allies are covered in blood, whether it be theirs or somebody else's. There's goblin bodies kind of scattered and like fragmented around this little, what appears to be like a resting area. There's one guy up here who is tied up and looking very frightened. And Karen's just kind of laid out on the ground, and Umaral has a goblin's now collapsed skull in his hand.
Wow. Looks like a pretty chaotic scene. But I can still see that the Goblin 20 is still up, right?
Yes.
All right. And can I move through allies' spaces to get over there?
If they're able and willing to let you through, yes.
All right. Excuse me. Pardon me. Excuse me. Pardon. No, sorry. Oh, yeah. No. Okay. All right. Thank you. Coming through. Okay. So I'm gonna maneuver over here. I think I will actually put myself between the goblin and the hostage guy. So maybe I'll come around this way. And all right. So as I walk up and maneuver past the carnage to Goblin 20, I'm gonna kind of crouch down and pounce on Goblin 20. So I'm going to select, and I think it shows that he is targeted now.
It does.
Targets Goblin 20. That's right. And then attack.
That is a miss,
All right.
unfortunately.
There's a badly timed pounce.
he's starting to cower a bit, and so I feel like as you go to pounce, he kind of like ducks down just out of your range, out of your reach.
And then I'll come up and swipe with a paw
Yes.
for my bonus action attack. That's better.
That is a hit. Of bludgeoning damage. Immediately after crying out in pain, he begins to sob.
Oh, poor guy.
And what none of the rest of you would know, but Kara, now that you are conscious, you would hear him as he's crying between sobs, as he's cowering. I'm the last one! I'm the last one standing! And he raises his head to the ceiling and brings his hands up. My God! Why have you forsaken me? And begins to just weep.
Oh no.
So Bliss just sees him weeping.
Yeah, and like...
Is he? Did he like drop his weapons and stuff? Or
At this point, I think he would have.
Aw, I'm sorry, little guy.
I'm not.
Me either.
I'm gonna shoot this one.
I can't. There's nothing I can do. I use my movement, my action, my bonus action, but
He just killed my friend.
That will bring us over here.
well, if he's repenting, I think we should show him mercy.
Oh, we could chop him up and feed him to the wolves, huh? Huh?
I'll still be
Well, we got all
working
those
like the
others.
last one.
What?
That's going to bring us.
Oh yeah, the wolves. By the way, we let them all go. They seem to be heading out for the forest.
Okay.
But I think there might be actually, at least one more wolf and another goblin or so up around the other way. But they're a ways off from here.
He's readying an action. That's going to... Absolutely. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do.
Okay. Now, are we still going through turn? Or-
Yeah, give me just a second, just because there are other things that I am moving, and that's going to bring us to Basil really quick. Oh, you meant like right now, right now?
I mean, yeah, but if other people are doing stuff like it's still like a combat thing, I'll let people do that.
Okay. Basil, dear.
Okay, Basil wants to run towards the sound of the commotion. He's gonna go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Was the sound coming from the left or the right? Like
The
back the way I came?
The commotion of your allies?
Yeah.
All of that is coming from over here to your left now.
So I have to wade through this water?
Yes. It's not like super duper high. How tall are you?
3.5 feet.
3.5? Okay. Yeah, you'd be able to, it might come like waist high on you. But it's slow
Is
moving.
it,
It's like a trickle, essentially.
So it's not difficult terrain?
No.
Okay, because I use my movement, so I'll use my dash.
Okay.
I think that's as far as I was able to go.
Perfect. Okay. Sorry, I've got some player messages. Okay, that's going to bring us to this goblin. crying is a free action. And he is going to take full advantage of that as he continues to sob and plead to his deity. I am your champion! Ah, do not forsake me! That brings us to Karin.
Is it half movement to get up from prone?
Correct.
Alright. Is that something you do or me? 'Cause I
I
don't know.
will remove that for you.
There's nobody else immediately around, right? It's just this goblin now, and he's just crying.
Correct.
Well, I can't get revenge on the one that actually downed me, so would I be able to... Would I be able to ready an action if of using my Sorcerer's Burst on him, acid damage, same as normal,
Absolutely.
if he gives me any reason to attack him at all, even the slightest provocation?
Absolutely.
But I'm gonna go towards him, use the sort of like inky tendrils as a sort of mage hand kind of thing, grab him around the throat, and just in goblin stare him down and just go, "Give me one fucking reason. One fucking reason to end you."
I don't wanna! No!
If he's not doing anything overtly hostile, I'm just gonna use the like ink tendril just to throw him back onto the floor.
Okay. And failing a con save as you do this, he urinates himself. Because that's fun. Alright, so we are readying that. Alright. That brings us to the top of round 8. Tomas.
Okay. I'm gonna take out my light crossbow and shoot it.
I respect it.
I'm sorry, guys.
I'm
Without
not.
a word, without saying a word, by the way. Oh, wait, do we sell him into slavery?
All right.
Oh, fine. I'm gonna. Oh, what's with the 18? Like.
It's called consistency.
Yeah, better than an 8. That
Does it count
does
as
hit.
sneak attack?
Yeah,
Is that keeping close by? Yeah, he can
yeah,
be
it's
sneak attack.
absolutely a sneak attack.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Tomas, how would you like to eliminate this sobbing, soiled goblin?
Oh, he just takes up his crossbow and shoots him, despite the conversation that just happened, and then walks past it to this man over here, and starts asking, "Hi, how are you doing down there?"
Really quick. Technically, you guys are officially out of combat at this point. So, as we do this role play and begin to move forward, I will let you guys know. You don't have to answer now. Depending on what you guys do, you guys can move and act freely. And then we can either keep the same initiative moving forward, or we can re-roll. So, like I said, there's no need to answer that right now. But the man looks at you, and though you are no doctor, you are not a healer of sorts, you can tell that he is in very bad shape. His breathing is labored and raspy.
And this guy needs some help, guys.
Who are you?
Just checking out local goblins. We happened to come across you. Are you okay, sir?
We were. Oh, I'm sorry. Go on.
No, go ahead.
We were looking looking for the caravan of Gundren Rockseeker. And we got a lead that he might have been attacked and captured by these here goblins. But before you take too much of your energy to get into any sort of a conversation, why don't you have a sip of this here healing potion?
He lights up slightly and brings his hands. You see that his hands and his feet are bound as he kind of comes out of the not quite fetal position, but very close to it. And we'll take the potion from you. Thank
Well,
you.
those were very sloppy knots. I'm gonna just untie them very quickly.
Thank you. And as you do, you see that though the knots were not the greatest, the ropes were tight. The skin is raw and angry underneath. Bits of skin have opened and are open bloody wounds. And he quickly pops the top off of the vial and will take the potion of healing as an action. And you see his eyes sharpen a bit as his breathing steadies, and you see that some of those wounds start to close back up, healing themselves as the potion takes hold. Wiping a bit of spit and blood from the side of his mouth. My name is Sildar. Sildar Hallwinter. I'm a member of the Lord's Alliance out of Neverwinter. I was with Gundren. We were traveling to Phandalin when those wretched goblins ambushed us. As he says that, he kind of sneers and then spits on the ground to the side. I'm afraid that they took Gundren. They took him and something he was carrying. Something important. He didn't tell me much, just that he and his brothers had found something big in the hills near Phandalin. Something tied to the Wave Echo Cave. He was so
So the
excited.
what now?
The Wave Echo Cave. Everybody go ahead and give me a history check.
Okay. I failed history. Oh no, I did the 18. What the hell?
Okay, so we got a 20, 10, okay. And that actually makes a lot of sense. Valor and Bliss, this name is not familiar to you guys. The rest of you, I'm going to try and not be long-winded about this, sorry. You would all have heard of Wave Echo Cave the way that you hear of an urban legend or an old wives' tale, kind of passed down word of mouth. It is heavily connected to the history of Phandalin. Phandalin now, as most of you have seen, is a shit heap in the process of being rebuilt and reformed.
Sexy.
But what was that?
Sexy. Sounds vile.
But centuries ago, it was a thriving mining town, rich in the minerals and other materials that were able to be mined and harvested there. There was a time, all these centuries ago, where the dwarves, gnomes, and humans lived in harmony. The legend goes that Wave Echo Cave was a location deep within the hills or mountains. The exact location has been lost to time, But somewhere in or around Phandalin, Wave Echo Cave essentially was an organic source of magical energy. There was a forge within it that allowed easily the forging and crafting of magic items. The power was able to be harvested to enrich and enhance the abilities of casters. The discovery of the powerful magical forge deep within, known as the Forge of Spells, drew the attention of some more nefarious groups. Groups who wanted to harvest the power for nefarious and selfish reasons. Orcs, merciless war bands, evil mercenaries, dark wizards, and some really brazen bandits invaded. And there was a bloodbath, an all-out war. During this battle, the good aligned mages fought valiantly, but it was in vain. The magical energies unleashed during this conflict caused a massive collapse, and the Forge of Spells was lost. Wave Echo Cave was sealed away from the world. Countless bodies hidden away with it. And its location now is all but legend. After the conflict, Phandalin lost its vigor, so to speak. Many of the occupants of the town buried with the secret location. Those who remained left for fear that while the location was lost, those who wanted to seek it would not stop searching. And they abandoned the town to start life anew. It is only within the last 10 to 15 years that people have started returning to Phandalin, trying to forge a life there and rebuild the small settlement, in hopes of returning it to its former glory. And Sildar is telling you that whatever Gundren had is tied to the old Wave Echo Cave. He said that it could change everything for the region. Prosperity and power. He kind of grimaces in pain as he shifts. The goblins were speaking of a place called Cragmaw Castle. Someone named King Groll wanted to take Gundren there, along with whatever he had. There was talk of a dark being in black armor. There was terror in their voices when they spoke of him. The spider, he says. Leaning back a bit. And some of these goblins, he says as he kind of looks out at the carnage, they weren't right. not just cruel or wild. That's to be expected. But these ones, they whispered to themselves, argued with shadows, and they had deformities, elongated heads, conical almost. One of them had extra eyelids that blinked over and over, even if he wasn't looking at anything. Another kept...
Well, that's just creepy as fuck.
It was awful. It's plagued my nightmares. Another kept scratching at itself, muttering about the black star beneath the stone. Another carved circles into the ground and the walls until its nails bled. He kind of...
Black star beneath a stone, did you say? Hmm?
Yes.
Hmm.
Muttering something about it singing beneath the world.
Well, that is an interesting tale. Full of mystery and creepy deformed creatures. But I gotta say, I think right now there might be more goblins in this here cave system that we should be thinking about. Hey, Basil,
I agree.
did you see anything when you were over in the kennel area?
I saw at least 3 behind the shadows. I got a shot off on one, but it didn't kill him. And there's at least one type of I don't know if it's a wolf or dire wolf or something, but it was warning the wolf not to leave, to stay with the goblins. And it did say that they were the property of Clarg, of the Clarg clan. So I doubt we've met Clarg before. So I think there's many more goblins in here that we need to destroy.
Clarg is...
We need to find out who Clarg is and how many more goblins are in here before we leave this cave.
Clarg is their leader.
Is he a goblin?
He's a bugbear.
Ah. Would I know what
Why
bugbear?
am I not surprised?
With your backstory and background, I don't know that you would have specifically encountered bugbears before. It is
Right.
possible, but I don't want to say for sure one way or the other. But I believe you would have at least heard of them, you know, as
Okay.
you've spent time with other people and kind of recanting stories about previous jobs or adventures. I think you would have at least heard about bugbears and what they are. Do you as a...
Are they rich, these bugbears?
real quick, as a player, you're familiar with bugbears, right?
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Bugbears.
Okay, perfect. And you are as well, Mike?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I didn't want to like mansplain anything if you guys already knew above table. You had asked if they were rich.
Yeah, they got any money?
I'm sure they have something. All of our equipment and possessions were stripped from us on Tribord Trail. I believe they've been brought back here for him.
Well, I think when I was up at the top by those 2 big pools, I saw what looked maybe like a pile of loot in a cave. So, Tomas, you might find some treasure up there. but I think we might maybe need to take a moment to tend to some wounds. It looks like our big buddy over here, Valor, looks like he got maybe caught a blade or two. And I've got one more healing potion left, which I'd be happy to give to you, Mr. Valor.
No need. I have one myself.
Maybe it would be better taking a short rest.
Umaril, you look like you caught some goblin attacks too. Would you like a healing potion that I got over here?
I would love one if you're willing to share.
Well, it's yours if you need it. I've seemed to have managed to make it through unharmed so far, so you need it more than me.
Denali, has this NPC given us his name?
Yes, he has introduced himself as Sildar Hallwinter.
Okay.
And what I'll do is I'll put that in the campaign info. And he's
I think I'm
told
going
you
to
he is
walk
with
back
the
and
lords.
hand Karen a potion, my potion. Get out. So I think you can want one of these back, huh?
I appreciate
And,
it, but Valor's healing is a lot stronger than I thought it would be.
Just
I
keep
won't
it.
take away. I am healed quite a lot.
Just keep it for now.
Well, fair enough. If I end up in the same situation, having a potion would be helpful, I guess.
Yeah.
So, Sildar, are you ready to extract some vengeance from your captors?
Yes. And then I need to get to Phandalin and find Iarno. He's a mage friend of mine that may be useful in finding the location of Cragmaw Castle to retrieve
And this
Gudrun.
mage friend of yours. Hold on. Tell me. Does he by chance has... I'm trying to think here. Hold on. And tell me, your mage friend, where is he from? I'm just gonna just kind of blue ball it here.
He is from Neverwinter as well. At least that's where I met him.
And I assume he's also in the Lord Alliance.
Yes.
Well, personally, I believe that faction has nothing to do, has no business being here, but for now I could use all the help we can get.
May I inquire as to your distaste for the Lord's Alliance?
Well, it's not a distaste, it's more of people seem to lose track of things once they try to get their eyes set on something.
Point of inspiration.
I've seen it with a couple other places. I've seen it with the Harpers. I've seen it with the Zingterra. I've seen it with all corners of the earth. It's a human nature type of trend.
You are not wrong. There are bad apples in every bunch. But I assure you, my brethren and I live justly.
But I will say this. You have reinforced everything I thought about this place, so for that I do thank you.
You're welcome. He looks a little perplexed, and you feel him trying to kind of pry deeper, not like magically or anything, but scanning you and searching your eyes and your expression for any kind of hints or information. I do hope that you will not hold your pre-existing thoughts of the Lord's Alliance against me personally. Unless I give you reason to, which I have no plans of doing, so please don't hold me to that same candle.
I'll do my best.
who are all of you, by the way? And Emerald, did you get? I'm giving you an inspiration for that, by the way. As he begins to stand up, and you'll watch as he's listening. He is very actively listening, but he walks down and kind of begins kicking through some of the remains of some of these goblins, and then picks up a scimitar and examines it and throws it down to pick up another one. You know, kind of like Goldilocksing it till he finds one of them that's just right, considering you know how terrible they are. So who are all of you, and what brings you here? Thank the gods you are here. But it is interesting.
I don't know. I'm just following these guys.
I am Shaw. You can just call me as such.
Pleasure.
I'm Karon. While this conversation's been going, by the way, Karon's just dripping acid on that one goblin that managed to get a good shot on him. He's just being a petty bitch to his corpse now.
I love it. It's just like a bubbling pile of like visceral matter and acid now.
Well, he was dead when I got back, and I wanted revenge. This is the best I can do.
I'd hate to chime in right now, but I have to go help my parents back home from
Okay.
college. But yeah,
Absolutely.
fun session, guys. But I'm gonna have to. It's almost 4 anyways. But yeah, I
Okay.
have to go help my parents with some stuff. But I appreciate for having me here.
Absolutely. Great session.
See y'all next week.
Thank you.
Good
Take care, man.
one.
See you later, man.
Thanks, take it
See ya.
easy.
So this is a good place to wrap up. If you guys want to finish some last minute role play or anything, and then we can kind of put a pin into it. I love your shirt, by the way, JJ. I just read what it said. But we can put a pin in it to come back to next week.
Okay.
Taylor did have something to say to Sharon after he made the healing comment, but we can do that a different time.
Will you
I was
remember?
gonna thank you for that as well. It's only polite to.
Yeah, let me. Okay,
You can say it.
it doesn't make sense for right now, but I guess he would say if Sharon, if you thanked Valor, he would kind of come up to you and put his arm around your shoulder, and he would kind of say in a soft tone, like just like the most awkward moment to say this. Kind of, you know, he's not very charismatic, so he just says this out, like just out of nowhere, but he says, "My mother's hands were small, soft, even for a Goliath. They mended bone and spirit alike, quietly, patiently. She used to say that pain isn't something you fight, it's something you listen to. That the world doesn't need warriors who crave glory, it needs those who stay when the hurting begins. She passed that to me, not through chance or charms, just the way she held me when the world broke." As he says that, he might let a small tear kind of drop from his eye, and he'll kind of like nonchalantly just kind of wipe it off before it hits the mask. The way she forgave every man who broke it. My healing doesn't come from magic alone, it comes from her. Every time I mend, it's her voice I hear, telling me to choose mercy, even when it cuts deeper than any blade.
Yes.
Well, in that case, I thank both you and your mother. And while I'm probably not going to dive in front of someone to save them again, I will try and repay the favor.
There is no need. We will protect each other. And then he
Okay.
kind of like thinks to
Yeah.
himself, like, wait a second. Kind of thinks like, oh, you said that you okay. and he kind of just like kind of turns around embarrassed, kind of like embarrassed a little bit.
Well, after that, then I'm going to start the usual cleaning all the blood with my prestidigitation again, because I'm assuming half of my own blood supply is now on my little ratty clothes.
Yes, yes. And I forgot to flavor something, so just to kind of retcon a little bit. Those of you that were in or around this area while Karin was down and in death saves, you would have noticed that the blood that was pooling out from him, oh, excuse me, there were like little wisps of ink that almost defied gravity and were coming up as droplets, and kind of beginning to swirl. And it's not a lot, it wasn't a ton, but taking on an inky visage, and kind of just dancing around his body while he was in death saves. And then those droplets were quickly reabsorbed into his body rather than falling to the ground when you healed him, Baylor. Alright. With that, we will wrap the session. For anyone watching, thank you so much for tuning in and the support. This group will be back next Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern. Bye!
I see you later.